If you run an agency and you've ever looked at a client's brief and thought, I cannot give this to my team, then this is for you. This is an example email we've received from Dan with a very vague brief. So Dan's launching a new product called BrewPod Pro. It's a coffee thing, kind of like a French press but smarter. So Dan's looking for some marketing work to be done for his latest product. And this is what has come back. We've got this enriched brief report. We'll take a closer look at this in just a sec. And then even the email drafted, ready to send back to him. Now, before I show you how this works, let me tell you what the agent actually did to produce this, because this is where it gets interesting. I read the brief, these 3 paragraphs, and then the agent went to work. It worked out that this was a smart kitchen product in a competitive space. It went and found the competitors, not guessing, actually going to their website and reading them. It found a direct competitor called Next Mug Press. It spotted that it had barely any reviews, only 11, and then, without being told to, it went and found their Amazon listing. It read what customers were actually saying, and one review said that the lid splatters coffee in your face. The agent took that and put it into the strategy document as a marketing opportunity. None of this was in Dan's email. The agent went and found it. It also decided to go and search Reddit to find out what real people said about French press frustrations. And then that language is in the report too. So of course you could paste Dan's email into like ChatGPT right now and get something back in 30 seconds. It'd say something like target coffee enthusiasts. It's not wrong, it's just thin. And you couldn't hand it to a client. And this is different because the agent doesn't just think about what it knows, it's going out, reading things that are online. And let me show you what that actually produces. We've got this enriched brief report. We've got the original brief summary of what we know. I won't read through all of this, pause the video, read through it in detail, I'll just highlight some bits. We've got competitor analysis. We've got the 5 different key competitors that it found. And then let's have a look at this. Weaknesses. Lid creates suction. Reviewers report. And this is actually a comment that is found online. Splattering yourself in the face. Now we've also got market and audience analysis. The converted enthusiast. Thoughtful gift buyer. The tech lifestyle buyer. Key purchase triggers. Key objections that it's found. And then seasonal signals. It's like Q4, November to December, dominates for coffee equipment gifting. It's got brand development starter, so we've got multiple options for this, a recommendation, tone of voice, we've got brand archetype, different tagline ideas, some colour direction, typography, and then we've got the gap report. What was missing from that original brief that Dan had sent over in his email? Information about the product, the audience, the brand, the project scope, commercial information, decision making. Also goes into channel and content recommendations, and then some SEO keyword opportunities. So not only does it create this brief, it's also drafted this email that you can respond to Dan with. Thanks for reaching out. It says we've done a bit of homework. It's got the questions taken from those gaps to get some more information off of Dan. And then saying likes the idea for the website and meta ads that Dan mentioned in his email and suggests a 30-minute call. Of course, we could extend this workflow so Claude could actually just put this into your drafts and notify you that there's an email ready to go. The reply email references the comparison, the smart French press gap. So the client reads it and thinks, well, these people actually get it before that first call's even happened. How did it read the Amazon reviews? How did it get Fellow's actual homepage copy, their CTA strategy, their trust signals, the exact language that they use? Well, that's down to a tool called Firecrawl. Firecrawl turns any website into clean text that Claude can actually think about without you writing a single line of scraping code. The Next Mug Amazon reviews, 1 Firecrawl. Fellow's homepage, 1 call. Reddit threads about French press frustration, 1 call. The alternative is basic web search, which gives you snippets and summaries. You'd get Fellow makes premium coffee equipment, for example. You wouldn't get their CTA strategy or the exact language real customers use, and it would be too shallow for a proper brief. Or you could write your own scraper using something like Puppeteer, Playwright, Beautiful Soup. And that's a project in itself before you've even started the actual agent. Firecrawl handles JavaScript rendering, bot detection, proxy rotation. It's just one MCP command, gives code native access. So there's no extra code that you need to deal with. Let me walk you through the build. For you to set this up for yourself, you're going to need Visual Studio Code. That's this platform that we're looking at here. It's open source, free. You can download that from their website. You'll also need a Claude account. In Visual Studio Code, you'll need to add the extension, which click on extensions, find the Claude extension. That will give you this box here. I'm not going to go through it in too much detail. I've done that in other videos. So we get the Claude extension, and then we can get Claude to work within this workspace. You're also going to need an account with Firecrawl. If you head over to their website, create an account. When you go into their dashboard, we've got agent integrations. So we can copy this, give it to Claude Code, ask Claude to install this MCP server. And we're also going to need a API key. So you can copy the API key from here, head over into your folder, and with that API key, you need to create a .env file, and then inside here, paste your API key. I can't show you that because it's actually got the my API key in there, but it's quite straightforward. You just click .env, paste in your API key. You will also need the CLAUDE.md file, and what I'll do, I'll put this and some setup instructions inside my blog post. I'll link that in the description. If you head over to that, you'll be able to copy that for free, paste it into your own Claude code. That will give Claude some context on what you're trying to build, and you can build this out from there yourself. In the Claude.md file, this is the brain, this is the agent essentially, and we can read through the instructions that we've given the agent to be able to create that brief and write the email. So the other files that I've got on the left here, we've got the brief.txt, so that was the example email that you see. We could have Claude just monitor the email inbox looking for these briefs, or we could give it its own email address. A lot of flexibility the way that you'd have this triggered. I've just got the example in here. And then once we've done the run, and you can see the run that's happened on here, this is, I've given it this email as the brief. It's had to think about what it needs to do, written a list of jobs, and then we can see it's done those calls to Firecrawl, done its research, worked through everything, and then once both files are written, lets us know, gives us a little summary of what it's done. And then the output is the email response. That's the email I showed you at the beginning. Again, we could integrate this into your workflow in different ways. Once that was ready, you could have Claude put it into your drafts in Gmail, for example, or send it over to a different member of the team to double check. We've got this response, and then we've also got the enriched brief report. So this is how that brief will come back. We've got this markdown file, and you can read through, and that's the same as what I've shown you. And then we could have Claude convert that, either email it to a team member, send it over in Slack. You know, there's a lot of flexibility, so many different options. So Dan's email was like 3 paragraphs. Took him maybe 4 or 5 minutes to write. What came back was a document a senior member of the team would be proud to put their name to, with competitor research, customer voice from Amazon reviews and Reddit, a full brand strategy starter, and a reply email, the CLAUDE.md file that makes this work. I'll link it in the description. You can grab it, drop it into your own brief, and see what comes back. Tell me, what's the most frustrating brief you've ever received from one of your clients? Drop it in the comments below. I want to see what the worst ones look like.